Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Austin Yarbrough with Central Coast Moving. Today we have a guest, Cole Schoenthal with A-List Pressure Washing. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Today we're gonna have Cole tell us a little bit about his business, some of the challenges and that he's seen and how he's been championing these challenges and just creating an epic life, growing his business and just doing amazing things in our community. So Cole, let's cheers and start this baby off.
Love it. Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, let's take a sip. So Cole, I know, this is your first year in business, right?
Yeah.
And then so, tell me a little bit about tell us a little bit about quick introduction to your business.
So I got into windows and pressure washing about 3 years ago. And I didn't even think this was a job at first. Seriously,
Yeah.
And somebody told me they're washing windows. Like, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. All right. And I was in construction at the meantime, so I was digging ditches. Still a ground guy, and I was like, hey, that sounds nice. And then, turned out being an amazing job. Got to learn about a lot of new aspects that I would never have thought about.
Thank you.
And it's great, super lucrative.
Yeah, and so, your mom's in the housing industry, right?
Right.
Real estate, and then she's, is that kind of what drew you into this direction, or like what drew you into it specifically?
Matter of fact, I saw this on TikTok. I saw it on TikTok, and it was a video like make X amount of dollars here and there. I was like, I can do that. Okay.
It's easy.
And so it's definitely not. He's got it. The guy that I saw had it made. So I still try to strive to be like that guy. But it's fun. It really is. It's pretty satisfying job too to see that results, but done by the end of the day, and you get a lot of happy customers. So it's cool.
And Cole, one of the unique things about Cole and A-List Pressure Washing is that he has this huge, massive trailer that's so pro. I mean, it's a giant investment. And this was early on in his business, and I totally thought that maybe his family kind of helped buy it for him, but it's all on him. So tell us a bit about what that trailer does and how that makes your business unique, and then kind of dive into just purchasing it and how you did that.
Right. So personally, when I see things, I love nice things. Trust me. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I so stand by it. Cry once, right?
Heck yeah.
And it goes a long way. It does pay for itself. I mean, with time and just peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's something reliable. I had kind of two options. If I wanted to go about it, I could have gotten something used, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I could have, something like this where I actually got, it was Powerline Industries out of Utah. Highly recommend. Great company to work with.
We'll put those guys on the screen here.
Yeah. So 3-year engine warranty. They offered, a full 9-hour day course of, how to use your trailer, marketing strategies, the ins and outs of the pressure washing industry. So, that package deal on top of you start from scratch, you can't beat that. It was so sweet. And it looks amazing and performs great as well. So can't beat that there. But yeah, this is, what I've learned is you can definitely buy toys in this game. Oh my gosh, there's every tool you can even imagine out there, and they all look good too. But it's that's the part where I gotta bite the tongue a little bit and just sit back and wait.
Well, that's kind of like every business. For us, it's these sexy moving trucks and GMC pickups, 2,500. And there's always those shiny things that, are great to work towards, but they're huge distractions.
Right.
And one thing that I've noticed in my business is that buying custom equipment that is specifically for my industry, like a specific moving truck with the mover's attic, with the mobile ramp, like was so much more valuable than like trying to make something just like a standard box truck work for what we're doing. And I'm
Right.
sure that's the same with, your specialized trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, like you see them roll up, guys, and it's game changing. So if you are in your business and you're like, do I make that investment on like that next piece of equipment? I mean, sometimes you do have to put the cart before the horse and show it off. Put it on social media. It draws attention, and that's one of your unique selling propositions. Like I'm sure you use that in your sales calls.
Oh, hands down.
Like, hey, like I have this specialty trailer. We'll get this done easy. We'll get it efficient. I've got all the right tools to make this the best wash of your, for your home. I can even do your driveway. I can do all these other services. Tell us a little bit about some of the services that you offer.
So, kind of my bread and butter, I'd say, would definitely be the windows. Windows, hands down. There are a lot of things to wash, and when it comes to pressure washing, I mean, pretty much anything with the surface.
Right.
Right. So, as far as finding that amazing niche that's gonna keep me year round busy on something, I haven't found it. I feel like that's a kind of one of those lottery niche, and it's gonna be out there.
It's
I think
commercial, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's commercial. One thing, but I mean, like, what are while we're rolling on that, like, what are some other challenges that you saw in your first year? I know I kind of recommended like a CRM, like
Right.
a software custom for your business, and like, what are the other challenges, and maybe like like how have you championed that and improved from like taking a step in that direction? Let's let everyone know about real life stuff.
Right. Well, like, I mean, on top of learning business so quick, there's no better way to learn business besides doing it yourself.
Right.
I mean, you can go to school for years, and then when it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, as far as learning, this is the way to make it stick. But what I had to accept is that, my idea, obviously, just like all of them, I mean, I got to just learn about my expectations. I didn't even know what to set. I see these companies elsewhere, kind of throughout the nation, and they're all large scale pressure
Yeah.
washing. And so I'm over here in California, and I'm looking at workman's comp rates and the liability. I'm like, oh wow, that doesn't really pencil.
Yeah,
I'm
no
like,
kidding.
okay, at least for like way long away. And then, I mean, not to mention like bonds. Even I was at Cal Portland not too long ago trying to get in with them, doing some fleet washing,
Mm-hmm.
trying that out. And, they wanted a $5 million bond.
That's
for me to-
if you guys don't know, this is like general liability on your business coverage. Like 5 million, like as a moving company, we only have a standard 1 million minimum, and then I go ahead and get another 1 million coverage, and so that's double plus some.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Huge for small fish.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talked about the payments, right? And I'm luckily was able to get everything squared away to I can make my payments. I figured out, okay, at least my truck and trailer alone is
Yep.
gonna make sense. I can swing this right now. I don't need to stack on any more things. I still got taxes at the end of the year. Those things to keep in mind. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things you gotta just be in it enough. If you're in it enough, you want it.
Committed.
You're committed, right? Then all you can do is learn and set those expectations early.
So I mean, yeah, guys. So if you're watching, your business is like doing under like 1 million, and you're on your way to the next tier. Maybe that's 100,000 or 200,000 or 300,000. Like cash flow is so important in your business, and getting in front of your financials. And something that I learned, through failure, honestly, was that I need to like focus my energy more towards the finances, and get linked in with QuickBooks Online, and get a second opinion on what I'm doing. Because if you're not really looking at your cash flow in your business, you're really like not understanding whether how much you need to charge. It starts with more so your expenses. And one of the things that really helped me was like a cost calculator, which CRMs, customer relationship management tools specific to your business. Again, a CRM specific to your business. Always get 3 demos. Are really going to help you identify like maybe some of the mileage or different transportation costs or depreciation costs on your equipment, because a lot of times we think it's just your labor times two, but what about the truck that you're driving, the trailer that's you're pulling, the materials that you have, the wear and tear on both of those items, not just the payments. And then you have like the employees clothing, your other fixed costs, and variable costs that come up, the fuel for the vehicle. I mean, the tires, like there's so many things that come into like pricing correctly. And I think not enough small businesses understand the pricing to understand what they need to practice selling to then grow and make money. So really understanding the expenses in your business really allows you to grow. And that is a huge hurdle for, young or in startup businesses, is that they're trying to build rapport. It's so easy to give discounts and whatnot, like, oh yeah, I just need to work. And it's like, what, get your momentum, build those reviews, but make it like a goal and be intentional about, learning your expenses and then pricing accordingly. Like that is really like the blood, the flow of your business, and the driving force is sales. And so practicing a little bit with role playing and things like that, and understanding like what you need to charge your clients. Because if you do premium service, you should be able to charge a premium price.
Absolutely. Yeah, hands down.
And so like what else have you had to learn? I mean, obviously the CRM, but like what about like social media? Like that's a big one that most businesses face. Huge. But tell us a little bit about like your journey into social media and like what you've been doing and what you've had success with.
I mean, I'm a social media kid. I grew up, 10 years old, I got my first iPad. We know how it is. We understand technology, and it's, I don't know, we've had our personal accounts and all that growing up, so it really is second nature coming into things. But I had a lot of fun with it, at least with the stories and going into there. But then once it got a little deeper, and at least by my standards of what I wanted my videos to look like, there's a lot into the social media game.
Yeah, under the hood, man, it's complex. A lot
there, yeah, and for you to make it make sense, if you're gonna be working on your business that you're getting all this good content for, you gotta be focused on that. If I'm editing a video, it's gonna take me 2 hours.
2 hours is like, that's exactly what it took me.
Yeah, at least. And I
per post
didn't do it nearly as good as somebody else that would have done it, made it, and it's just, you can't do that. I want 10 videos, in a week. I want to get on
massive action, right? And that's like, kind of leads us into like where, content, and you start looking at like your most valuable asset as a business owner becomes time. If you're on all the jobs, or if you're working, like they say, don't work in your business, work on your business. Well, they say that, but everyone says that, but it's like, go back into my shoes when I don't have the resources that you have. That is hard shit. I don't have free time. What is that? I don't have a family. I don't have kids. I'm still working 7 days a week. This is the real shit that, like entrepreneurs have to go through. And to be honest, is like, you just got to do more. You got to do a little bit more. You got to put in that extra 2 hours. Put in that extra work so then you can afford someone to manage that. And then once you can put someone to manage that, the game will just change. You'll be like, all right, delegate this, delegate that, delegate this, delegate that. And one of the biggest things with social media, which I could talk on and on about, which probably in another episode, but like there are virtual assistants out there that are contractors that it's only $5 an hour. You can start them at part-time a week. So you start looking at your value of money-making value to the company, which in most businesses, I'll go slow and I'll re-say this. Yeah. But if you look at most businesses, so like, let's just use, I would charge a company for, one of my movers like $100 an hour, okay? And so most companies, their labor, so the cost of goods sold, variable expense on this is with labor is about full burden, workers' comp, everything included, $30 an hour. So if I'm, so it's like a 30% rule. Most businesses, our goal is to keep labor under 30%. So that's what we do. But, that's exactly like the challenge. So if you looked at your business and you paid yourself, let's just say like, $20 an hour, right? Or let's just say, you paid yourself $30 an hour. So you're, use the same example. So your value to your business with all working hours of every day, all the time, is $100 per hour. So you could pay someone $5 an hour, or you could charge the company basically in value $100 an hour. There's a $95 difference right now between what you could be making doing working and doing these giant leaps for the company
Mm-hmm.
and growing, or you could pay someone $5 an hour. It's crazy when you think of it like that,
Yeah.
that it only costs me $5 an hour to save $95 an hour based on what I could be charging and growing for my company and my money making value to the company. It's all theoretical, right? Like there's no exact number,
No.
but something to keep in mind that like when it comes to doing this, and if you guys do have questions about virtual assistants, message me. I'll put it on the screen, Austin underscore Central Coast Moving, and you can ask me, just DM me virtual assistants, and I'll give you some more information to help you out. So, what else? What's the direction of, A-list pressure washing? Like, where are we headed? And, like, what is the direction that you want to go in the next, let's give us your, like, 3-year vision.
Okay. I want to start off by saying this. I don't think business ownership is for everybody. Seriously, you gotta know what to expect. I listen. I want everybody to be a gamer and go out there and try their hardest and get what's the best for them. But if you don't know what's coming and you're not ready to work those 7 days a week, you're working on your business at all times, it's that stress. You do have the liability, and not saying that it's never gonna go away.
It's challenging.
It is.
Entrepreneurship, like for everyone listening, like entrepreneurship is it's an upward battle, and it takes blood, sweat, and tears. But I would say it's one of the most rewarding things you can ever do in your life. But you need to know the leap of faith that you're going to take, and you need to be fully committed. Like this is like the art of war. Like I'm gonna put myself in a corner, and I'm gonna fight for my life.
Yeah.
Like that is what when you're committing to starting a business, a small business. Like yeah, I think most people do start off as like part time while they have another job. I mean, I worked for another moving company when I was in college, started my own, and one of my best friends who's in my wedding, he also was working with me. So I had three plus school. Like I had all these things going on when I started my business.
Mm-hmm.
And like it wasn't until I was able to put full focus on it till I actually made the leaps and bounds that I had to do. But that comes with an expense because you don't exactly have jobs coming in.
Right.
And then so two, I guess we can, on that topic, like let's talk about like some of the networking opportunities that are out there. Is there any like networking groups or that you've found yet or want to join that would have probably the biggest impact in your business?
Luckily, I got hooked up with Powerline, the guys that I got my trailer through. I've connected with the family throughout the whole nation, and so what's really helped me out is being able to call these key guys over in North Dakota or New York, Philadelphia. This mass family that I can ask my own questions. And like, hey, what's going on here? Blah blah blah. What do you think about this? What do you think? Blah blah blah. And it is amazing to just have that big community like that. I can't tell you enough how helpful that is.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, just the power of collaboration. To dive a little bit deeper, like just to have like a Facebook group or WhatsApp chat or Instagram contacts, like most people want to give good advice. Most business owners, they want to help you, but the biggest challenge is on their end that you won't take action on that advice. So if you are looking for mentors and whatnot, let them know like, hey, whatever you tell me to do, I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna do. Like I'm committed to changing. And like I idolize you. I want to be in business like you, and they'll give that info. Like it'll flow right through them. Like I can't say like I can't compliment it enough. Like about businesses that want to help other businesses. But what kind of group is that? Like is it on Facebook? Like what platform is it on?
No, it's not on a platform or anything. It's kind of just a contact list that they give you once you go to the school. As far as like what you'd really ask for, it's the networking groups. I'd say The caravans, those are pretty sweet with the realtors.
Real estate
Real estate,
caravans,
yeah,
yeah.
real estate caravan. That's pretty nice. Other than that, though, to be honest with you, it's more, I feel like my obligation to get out and do more of the door to door or
Yeah.
calling. I mean, that's so in my hands to where I know I can get those results right there. I if I want to spend, all day doing that,
Yeah.
I can do that every day of the week, and that's one thing too. When I'm so fortunate, I got to start, and think about this business, early on when I was 22, not even realizing that I have the reoccurring abilities. I can go the door to door and
Yeah.
do something
Door to
like
door is
that.
huge in industries,
I got buddies. It's concrete. He's a concrete pumper, and he's like, man, I wish I could do that, because he's relying on contractors to get his business and who, he's got cahoots
Yeah.
with. And it's just like, there's so much stuff here.
It's just like, dude, go to contractors to go to door to door. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Anyone, you could go door to door in any industry all the time. Like guys in the moving industry are doing it. I like to isolate, like more so. That's why I do the caravans because I am still going door to door to door. But we could even go to the next level with that, like going door to door with the client there for
Yeah.
houses for sale. And it's really you got to look at like your output on time. And to break down what you said, like, so Cole likes to go hunting. He likes to hunt. He likes to eat what he can kill.
Right.
And that's like huge for business. And then, but in the wintertime, December and January, when no one's thinking about that, what really works and what is huge is the farming. It's the relationship building. It's doing podcasts, going to breakfast, getting coffees with people that could refer you. And that's one thing that I want to teach the audience and really establish like a connection with is that you don't have to spend time in things just to get jobs. You can invest time. Don't look at it as this expenditure, looking at investment. Investing time into the relationship building, into the long term, into the farming. Like we're not going to eat today from this kind of stuff. Chamber of Commerce, associations, sponsorships, community things, donations. There's so many different ways, and even like just cold calling, like that could be just for relationship building. Like that's not going to produce a job right then and there, but you're staying top of mind and you're staying relative. So like if you it comes, you want to have this balance of like hunting and farming. Like
Right.
dedicate maybe like an hour or two of the farming. It's huge, but yeah, hunting is always going to put food on the table. However, though, like it's not going to put always food on the table, and there are different ways that you can cross market and fill your calendar up in the meantime. And then someone's going to see you like, hey, I met him door knocking, but like Cole was also at a Chamber of Commerce event, and then he was also in like the Christmas parade and Pioneer Day parade around the community. He must be like a really good guy. Like when I probably would refer that guy. He's everywhere. He's omnipresent. See what I mean? Like, and they
Yeah.
say like it
Right.
takes 7 times for people to see your business. Like, which theoretically, like, okay, so you just get in front of them as many times, but also on a shotgun approach, sometimes for your community too, like everyone always asks like what does the Chamber of Commerce do for me, like it's because it's a couple $100 a year, sometimes even like close to 1,000, and you have to look at this like unlimited mindset of like what can I do for the Chamber of Commerce, what can I do for my real referral sources, not what they can do for me, because that's like so easy, like I want to hunt, but like what can I do, what can I farm, like what can I give back. I think there's this amazing book I want you to read. It's called The Go Giver. My friend Stephen Herring, shout out to Stephen. He's a mentor to me, one of my mentors, and like he told me to read that book, and like it's pretty life changing, And like when you read books, go slow, get a highlighter, and really pull out some quotes that really stand, are significant for you. And I think that's like one of the best, beginning entrepreneurship books, Go Giver and like Profit First. Two of my favorites. Do you listen to any audiobooks or what? Because I know you're driving a lot, right?
Yeah, quite a bit, honestly. I actually, I mean, I talk with my cousin quite a bit.
That's
I got
awesome.
him rolling with me most of the time, and so you know, our time's pretty limited. I mean, he's working, doing our thing, so I definitely try to keep our family relations cool and, you know, mentor him in any way I can. And
Heck yeah.
but you know what we were just talking about before. I mean, we all these things that kind of add into what we talked about a couple questions ago. Was like, dude, look at how much we just talked about business. Like, if you, that's gonna be your entire life. And I'm telling you, it's obviously the balance in figuring things
Yeah.
out. This is the commitment that you are gonna take. And I will say, I didn't think in a million years I was ever gonna be a window or pressure washing.
Yeah.
I didn't think this, and you know, I went for it. But you can't halfway commit.
Yeah.
Like you said too, they want to see you. Everyone would like to see Austin at
Everywhere.
everywhere,
Omnipresent. Yeah.
all the time, right? Omnipresent. Yeah. I mean, omnipresent. That's basically like a god. Like you think
Like
of
you have
the
to
god.
cover
God's everywhere. That's you're everywhere at all times.
at all
Always.
times. Like it's that level of like and I always call it investments. You know.
Yeah.
It's huge. You got to do it. You know. It's. I mean, if if you're really not serious about like doing that and like I mean obviously most business owners had a 9 to 5, so I don't want to like shy them away from starting a business, but like with the intention and knowledge, like it takes a significant amount of dedication. Like, you know what's funny is like I always put on my shirt, you know, my Central Coast Moving shirt, and I call it like my cape. Like I feel like a hero in this shit, you know, and like because I'm so invested into the person I am and who I become in it. It's like I almost, you know, and I'm right now I'm in the process of my life like building a team and building leaders too that are on board with this dream. But you know, like I've kind of like identified like myself with Central Coast Moving, and Central Coast is me, and like sometimes like you could say like you know that's maybe not the best thing to do, but honestly like my business has been growing, and so there's probably got to be some success factors that are going on in that.
Totally.
And so like right now let's talk about, you know, last point here, like what is like the biggest challenge that you are running into right now that would like take you to the next level? Like if this worked out or if this happened, then I could just blow past the competition, explode my business, change my life.
Um, have everything paid off.
Everything
Eh,
paid off. So
So yeah, and I mean, I actually got some great advice because we talked not too long ago from this guy Frank. He runs a maintenance company around here, and he told me, he's like, you know, you have nice stuff, right? You have the best of the best. I'm telling you, the best thing you can do, stop spending money. And I'm like, you know, oh yeah, you gotta spend money to make money. It's like, dude, he's like, stop spending money. I was like, okay, that makes sense. He's like, as soon as you get your stuff paid off, I'm telling you, you'll see the real numbers and it'll start to pay off tenfold. Then you're ahead.
so that's like
Right?
the profit first book, guys.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the gamble I was willing to take, though. I want the nicest stuff. I want it makes it look that good. I mean,
When you feel good.
you do.
And like that is a challenge though. I mean, like myself, like I always had my dad in my ear telling me like, "Oh, you know, you gotta. It's not how much you make; it's how much you save." Which is like will stick with me forever, you know, forever. But like one thing that I found later on in my life was that every time I invested $1 and trust my instinct, my business, and I put all full force behind it, I got $10 out.
Yeah.
So something to consider is like, hey, where do I see myself going? Like, does it, you know, cash flow and like getting those liabilities paid off, or even like finding out how to create more cash flow with those? But more is not always better in your business. Like you could do an extra $1 million in sales, but if your net profit is like 5%,
Yeah.
you could do like $250,000 at 20% and make the same amount same amount of money.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing and that's getting ahead of your financials, which is the point of this. So getting in front of your financials helps grow your business, and then, you know, you can explosively grow. I mean, there's a lot of mentors out there that are saying, you know, like make sure you can afford it. Like no one really like sells you something and like tells you that like you can't really afford this and it's not a good investment. And that's where like I highly recommend you lean on your mentors and be like, hey, like, well, this is because they failed more like 100,000 more times than you in that same scenario.
Yeah.
And like you ask like 5, 10 entrepreneurs like what they did to get to the next step and how they did it, you'll probably formulate this great direct plan for yourself and then take it with a grain of salt and just take more action.
No, hands down. And I mean, too, I want to say I'm not trying to steer people away. I know I've been flagging, highlighting, some things to be aware of as far as like business ownership.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I will say there's no better way to learn and be that best version of you when you have to, your back's up against the wall.
Yeah.
You got all those payments to make. You got to learn how to dig deep. And I'm telling you, in today's standards, I think it's so vital, so necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, you'll learn so much about yourself, and you're going to learn, I mean, like we talk about all the time. Why do we have conversation? We're in two different businesses. Business is business at the end of the day.
That's it. Yeah.
And hey, you gotta make money to live and enjoy your life. Whatever life you want, it's there for the taking. You just gotta decide, how bad you want it.
You gotta have intention by design, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, design the life that you want, is like, there's entrepreneurs that are getting the life they want with teams, and there's not a problem with that at all. But that, as an entrepreneur, in every scenario, like, I guarantee you'll be a more successful person if you wake up early and go to the gym.
Right.
Do the things people don't want to do. Wake up early, go to the gym, and then get your day started. And then two other things, if you can read 10 pages and then you can plan your next day, it will change your life. But if the only thing you took from this podcast was that going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning to get my brain working, to like work on myself and my family and everyone in my life, like, this is going to be the number one takeaway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fitness is, it's your health we're talking about. It's some serious stuff.
I mean, too, with the nutrition as well, both those. I mean, you is so vital. I can tell now I'm very in tune with my body at 24 that, if I eat a bag of Takis, I'm going to feel it.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
I'm going to feel, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden now I can feel, a bag of Takis. I drink a shake and my ass jiggles for 3 days.
Yeah.
I gotta be aware of what I'm,
No kidding.
doing. But, you like I said, you're doing everything else and you're creating that responsibility, how fulfilling it is to dot your I's, cross your T's, get your stuff done. I mean, that's the reward of, disciplined enough. I got everything I needed to get done in the day. And then there's no stress. There's no worry. Obviously, but there's going to be stress, but you're doing everything you possibly can to get that out of the back of your head. It's like, okay, I did what I could for the day. That's it. I'm going to go, now I got my time to myself. I'm focused on me.
Put it all on the table, and like I want to dive back into too, like putting your back against the wall. Like, you learn a lot about yourself when the back is against the wall, who the man or woman that you are, and like literally what you're all about. And when life like deals you a curveball and punches you in the face and then kicks you in the nuts,
yeah,
it's like no joke, Like, there are like not a lot of entrepreneurs actually talk about enough. They're like, sometimes you wake up, oh, I called out, I threw up, I don't feel good. And then like there's like some sort of client's house that gets damaged, and then like someone gives you a 1-star review. Like, there is shit that goes down, and you're like, and this is like on top of life. Like, this isn't like all of this is mixed. This is like and it just like dominoes. And so like you learn a lot about yourself and discipline. Like, I'd say like there's a huge theme of discipline that goes on in your life that you just gotta like, like really commit with that commitment to your team, yourself, your family, like to make a commitment to everyone that like, I'm gonna be the best version of me, and I'm gonna focus on 1% better each day. I think that's a big takeaway too.
Absolutely.
So,
huge.
Cole, tell us about like how someone could find you. Like, we'll put up on the screen like your social media handle. Read it off. Go ahead and read it off for us.
That is A-List Pro Services on Instagram, and you can find me online at alistproservices.com.
So Instagram, A-List Services.
Yes, A-List Pro Services.
A-List Pro Services on Instagram, and then online. What was that again?
alistproservices.com.
alistproservices.com. And then for everyone listening, if they do need, if they're trying to just get their house washed or windows or anything like that, like what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Give me a call at 805-975-5877 right here.
Right on the screen, right there. Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in to one of our first official interviews with Cole. It's been a pleasure working together and just growing our businesses, and I really appreciate for you sticking with us and taking some action steps for your business, yourself, and your family.
Let's go.
Let's go. Cheers.
Cheers. Good stuff, bro.